So, Mike, I hear that you're a big Pro Bowl fan.
Fuck the Pro Bowl.
Fuck the Pro Bowl?
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I don't care about the Pro Bowl.
Did you watch any of it this weekend?
Nope. Not a second.
Okay. I literally got one notification over the whole day. 2 notifications about the Pro Bowl on my phone. One of them was J.J. Watt saying he does walkthroughs that are more physical than the Pro Bowl. And the other one was Mac Jones and his gritty celebration.
I saw that too.
Literally the only 2 notifications I got on my phone.
And
on
so
Sunday afternoon, Sunday. Yeah,
and so
Sunday afternoon.
that brings me to the question of, is the Pro Bowl really the collection of the best players, and can it be fixed? That's 2 questions, I know, but
I think it is the collection of the best Pro Bowl or best players. However, the problem is there are players that are in the Super Bowl that couldn't go, which understandably they got a bigger game, more important game.
Absolutely.
And then there are players like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. They're like, I'm good. Because the problem is with the Pro Bowl, and I forgot what NFL player tweeted this the other day. He said that the NFL is the only sport with their quote-unquote all-star game that occurs at the end of the season. You look at NBA, you look at MLB, you look at NHL. They have
you even look at NASCAR. They do it in the middle of the season.
Sure, you're a NASCAR guy. I'm not. But they have it in the middle of their season. NFL is the only one that doesn't after. Now, it might be to the fact that there's so many bye weeks, or each team has different bye weeks. It's kind of hard to do it in the middle of the season, but
It would be very hard, I think. But I think that really brings me to, I don't think Pro Bowls mean anything anymore.
they don't. All pros are what matter more, in my opinion.
Thank you. Okay, I'm glad you're on the same page as me, because I've had people say, well, Blankety Blank was a Pro Bowler, but I don't care if he was a Pro
Bowl
Bowler.
is a popularity contest. It always has been, always will be. That's why certain players, like, for example, in the NBA, made the All-Star game. I'm not going to say who. You can figure out who it was. But it was Andrew Wiggins, by the way. In the NFL, it's a popularity contest.
I thought you were going to say LaMelo Ball.
Nah, he actually deserves it.
Jared Allen deserves it more than he
I'll
does.
give you that. Jared Allen does, but they already have one Cleveland Cavalier, and I don't think they want to do 2. Granted, Cleveland is a top 5 team.
Did you see the stupid skills challenge?
Of what?
Did you see so they revamped the skills challenge for this year?
Of the Pro Bowl or the NBA?
Of the NBA.
I haven't
It's the 3 Antetokounmpo brothers. The 3 of them.
Okay.
One's in the G League, and the other 2 were on the Bucks, obviously.
Uh-huh.
It's teams of 3. So it's those 3 versus the team called the Cavs, and it's 3 Cavs players. And then the other team is called the Rooks, and it's like Josh Giddey and like 2 other guys.
Okay.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
It lasts 5
The
10
Nasus
minutes.
or whatever isn't even in the league, or he's the crap. But
I'm not worried about the NBA. NBA does it right. They have a better All-Star. They have the best All-Star weekend, I think, of all the sports.
You don't watch NHL.
I don't watch
I would
NHL,
say NHL is better.
maybe NHL. I did see the one highlight of the dodgeball homage from the hockey player who blindfolded himself and got the goal. That was pretty cool. So I don't know. I guess NHL is better, but
so they do a lot of cool skills challenge like the NBA does. I just think they do them a little bit better. But again, Joe Schmo from Jacksonville, Florida is not watching NHL All-Star games. So.
You can just say Mike Yazgi is not watching it. But yeah. NFL, their Pro Bowl is a joke. No one cares. That's why you see more and more players just saying, I'm good. Because a lot of the players also don't want to get hurt in these, quote, Pro Bowl games. That's why the player physicality has gone a lot lower ever since the Sean Taylor days.
Mm-hmm.
So
why don't you switch it to, there's obviously no implications or anything. If you win it, it doesn't mean anything like the MLB All-Star game and stuff like that. Why don't you just change it to like a flag football game or little other, remember when they were doing the dodgeball and stuff? I don't know if they still do that or not, but like
they still do dodgeball.
They should just make it like that. Just make it a whole like fun, silly weekend, and then not call it like, oh, these are the best of the best. Just invite people that want to come.
Yeah, trust me. The NFL has got a lot of issues going on with it, but I think they don't care about the Pro Bowl, which is fine. But they need to do something. But I personally don't think it's gonna be able to get fixed.
No, I think its downfall really started when they went to Orlando, and ever since then, it's just been kind of a crapshoot of just like is that guy really a Pro Bowler? And that's the biggest thing for me. There's so many people that shouldn't be there.
And Pro Bowls, in my opinion, should not count towards the Hall of Fame selection
100%,
process.
100%.
And that's what's hindering key players and with local ties. Tony Baselli, Fred Taylor, even Leroy Butler. Local product for those who don't know. But
did you see that tweet today about...
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I don't either.
I mean, granted, the guy did drill last year's.
So there's a tweet going around from some guy
who's 6
random
followers.
Guy. Yeah.
6 followers. He's a Steelers fan. He doesn't have a lot of tweets.
He doesn't.
But he did tweet last year around this time the nominees for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He drilled every single one of them last year.
He did get every single one of them right, and he did it again this year. And included Tony Baselli on that list.
And Leroy Butler.
And our boy Dilla, retweeted with confidence and saying like, oh, hell yeah, let's go to Canton. And, I've seen a couple other people, our friend Eric, retweeted it too in hype of it. But I'm not getting hyped until I see it, It's been so many years.
Until it's officially tweeted from the Jaguars Twitter account or from the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I am not getting my hopes up for Tony Baselli.
I was sitting over there stressing to see if he would even be a finalist this year.
Nah, I had a feeling he was going to be a finalist, but...
I mean, I was watching it when it was live, like on my Twitter feed, and he was one of the last people named, so like it kind of worried me a little bit. But
yeah, we'll see. Hopefully he gets inducted this weekend, but do you think he gets in?
I think he does.
I think this is it's either this year or he's never getting in.
No, yeah.
I think he gets in this year. Hopefully he does, and hopefully Leroy Butler gets in as well. Not only because he's a Knoll, but also he is a local Jacksonville legend in the city. So hopefully we get 2 Jacksonville connections in Canton this upcoming August.
Absolutely. And with that, welcome to episode 58 of Dimes on Duval.
Damn, that was a long intro.
Yeah, baby. For Mike Yaji, I am Keith Manzi. We are here to talk Jaguars. Doug Pederson is going to be our top topic of the day. We will sprinkle in some NBA and a little bit about Valentine's Day, since that is right around the corner as well. And for those of you that have not been listening with us very, very long, we do typically record once a week, but since the offseason has started, for the Jags, of course, the offseason has started, we have scaled back to a once every other week. So we do, 2-week intermission, or 1 week intermission, and then we come back. So keep looking out for us on all social platforms. We'll still be posting. Hopefully an article will be coming up soon. Yeah, you don't know about that, Mike, but I'm writing an article right now just for funsies.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is news to me.
Yeah, I've been playing with some stuff, but we'll see if it actually comes to fruition.
And remember, it's on dimesonduval.com.
Yes, that is our website where you can find all of our articles, all of our podcast episodes, and more. So without further ado, Mike, Doug Pederson is the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Good hire, right?
I like it, and I don't know if this was discussed on the podcast or...
when we're just shooting the shit?
Yeah, between like me, you, and Skylar or whatnot, but I did have Doug Pederson as one of my top guys. I did have Brian Flores up there as well. That was pre-lawsuit, so I don't think he's going to get a job ever again in the NFL. That's different. But I did have Doug Pederson up there at number 1. The reason why I had him up top is because he has won the Super Bowl before, back in 2017 with the Philadelphia Eagles. He is someone who can change the culture pretty quickly. He is a offensive-minded head coach. He is a former quarterback in the NFL, and he helped Nick Foles look like a godsend. And Jaguar fans know all about how trash Nick Foles is. So,
yes, we do.
I think that
the throw is all he has to his name.
That one throw to DJ Chark, and then it birthed Minshew Mania, to be fair. However, I do like the hire of Doug Pederson. Now, I don't like the process of how we got here, but...
Absolutely not. I think everyone would agree with that.
But I think the head coaching hire of Doug Pederson was a great hire, and across the league, across all reporters, beat writers, Philadelphia fans, they all say that they like the hire of Doug Pederson to Jacksonville because of one person and one person only. It helps develop our rookie, or now second-year quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. And we've said this for about a year now, year and a half since we got the number 1 pick. Trevor Lawrence's success will indicate how successful the Jaguars are. If he stinks, the Jags stink, and they're looking for another quarterback within 2 years. However, if he looks anything like a competent quarterback, we've got a chance to be really great. The problem is the team stinks, and Doug Pederson does have his work cut out for him, as he indicated in the press conference that it's not going to be an overnight fix.
It will not. There's no way in hell it will be. You're a fool if you think otherwise. It's going to be a process. And a big thing is we can't just focus on Trevor. This is going to be a whole team process. We saw that with last year with how bad everything else was. The receivers, the line, and everything. Every aspect of our team was not great last year. So this draft is going to be a big one. The offseason is just going to be big for everything. It's always going to be a big offseason. But this one is significantly big because we swung and missed with Urban. You and I said it from the start. We didn't like him as head coach. We dealt with it. He got canned. And here we are. Another new head coach. This one with NFL experience, which, thank God. Still think Byron would be a great coach. Still think he will be a good coach one day. But I think Doug is the best choice for us right now.
I agree. And I was starting to get my hopes up that it would be Byron Leftwich. But honestly, I think this team does not need a first-time head coach. Granted, it's an offensive mind, a great young scout in Adrian Wilson at the time, as the rumor was going to be. I like having Doug Pederson as the head coach, and what I like about Doug is that he said in his press conference on Saturday afternoon, he said that he will have some say in acquisitions because he's the one coaching this team. He wants the best players on the field, and you cannot trust the snake and Trent Baalke to make any decisions for your football team.
What did you call him before? The 70-year-old smoker?
Yeah, he sounds like a 70-year-old smoker. If you want to look up Trent Baalke in his voice, just prepare yourself for some cringe hearing because it's bad.
It is bad.
But something I did want to mention is what I do like about Doug. Two things. One, he understands the fans' comments and frustration with how things have gone. He knows how things have... He said at the press conference, I thought, okay, well, he actually is trying to relate to the fans here. He said to our fans, I know you've been through a lot even this past season, but that's about to change, and I can promise you that I'm going to come to work every single day with the diligent task of making this a winning organization. Granted, we all know that's probably coach speak. But,
of course. What coach hasn't said something to that degree?
To be fair, he is already starting off on a better foot than the last head coach. I'm not mentioning that guy's name. The last head coach said the 904, and...
Thank you. I was going to mention that if you didn't. Yes. And no one says the 904.
No one says, welcome to the 904. We're trying to battle for the 904. No. Bro, just stop. Learn your fans. And I almost said Doug Marrone. Doug Pederson.
I know. It's
going to be a problem
times.
This next few years.
The two Dougs.
But Doug Pederson said in his introductory video when he landed in Jacksonville, he's ready to get to work Duval.
Yeah, and he even said it right.
Duval.
He said Jaguars kind of weird, but hey, Gus Bradley was go Jaguars.
Jaguars, yeah, no.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
But no, Doug's on the right path with the fans, and I think they're not mad at him per se. They're mad about how owner Shad Khan and general manager Trent Jackass Baalke handled this whole thing.
I didn't know that was his middle name. Wow.
Yeah, if you look on Wikipedia. But I do think that Doug trying to understand the fans is a very big plus, but I think the fans are also just kind of frustrated with the whole process. But
Absolutely. What else did you grab from the press conference?
Well, I've got a lot of notes, but just a few things. He mentioned something about Tony Khan. Doug Pederson did. He mentioned Tony Khan a lot. So
yeah, I thought he was fully removed.
So I wonder if Tony Khan's more involved than we originally thought. But also, if he's really involved at all, I think Tony is personally wanting Trent Baalke gone. From what I've seen on Twitter, from beat reporters, from Dilla, who does have the sources, it's kind of to the point where, Tony wants Trent out, but for some reason Shad is not listening to him because Shad, in his press conference, did say that he wants to have the best people help him. Now, my challenge to Shad is Trent Baalke is universally hated by the NFL. And
get the guy NFL, to your left or right.
The people in the NFL. But yet he wants to add more people to the front office. by helping Trent Baalke out. But isn't that a sign of like, yo, Trent needs to go?
I think it's a step before Trent goes. I think it's you bring in someone like, everyone keeps talking about Tony Dungy. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's somebody that you should go talk to.
Rick
Absolutely.
Spielman is rumored. He's the only interview so far.
Yeah, but like you bring in one of those guys, and then that guy says, hey, Shad, this guy's got to go. And then Shad will be like, okay, well, I think you're right. And then they finally fire him, and it's the best day of our life.
That's the goal, but I'm not getting my hopes up. I personally believe
I think it'll be a year. I
hope it's quicker than that. I hope it's after the draft, because there are reports that they may part with Baalke after the draft, because apparently how the GM contracts work is that they terminate in May, which is weird to me.
That's so stupid. That means he has to be around for the draft. I don't want him to be around.
Unless we get an executive vice president in before, then I'm fine with it, but otherwise I don't want Baalke anywhere near the draft process.
You had something you found about the draft, though, or that you picked up from the press conference that you thought, think we're going O-line?
I personally think Doug Pederson's second or third last question of the presser was someone asking him about I think it was Shipley, John Shipley, so I'm not 100% sure on that. But they asked him, how does building an offensive line help provide a winner? Or something along those lines. I can't remember the exact question. But he said, it's always good to protect, because we had it with Carson Wentz and then Nick Foles at the time. I don't know if he actually mentioned it, but I'm just thinking like he had Nick Foles and Carson Wentz. 2 injury-prone quarterbacks, can't stay healthy, and they got the job done and won a Super Bowl. So I believe that he will go after offensive line at number 1. And from what I saw from Mike Kay, he tweeted to a Jacksonville reporter that offensive tackle will be the number 1 pick, or what he wants an OT. Now, whether that be Evan Neal from Alabama, Cross, the offensive tackle from, I believe,
I don't know where he's from.
I think it's Ole Miss. And then another one from NC State, Ikem. I can't remember the last name either. But
so an O-lineman.
I believe an O-lineman will be the number 1 pick to Jacksonville if they stay at 1.
If they stay at 1, I agree. I think they should.
I think everyone's on that same page.
I don't trust the D-line. I don't trust Thibodeau. I don't trust, what's his name?
Aiden Hutchinson.
I almost called him McPherson for some reason.
You're thinking of the Bengals kicker.
Actually, I was thinking of... oh man, what was his name? Crap! Now it's gonna bother me. I'm googling this while I'm thinking it. He was an FSU guy.
Jermaine Johnson.
No.
McPherson.
Yeah.
Adrian McPherson.
Was that his name?
The quarterback.
Is that his first name? Adrian McPherson. Yeah, Adrian McPherson.
The quarterback.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's who I was actually thinking of for some reason.
I don't know how you got that, but
bring back the random player at the end of the episode for the Sports Bar Pod. That's a nice reference there. Adrian McPherson. Jesus Christ. Anyway, but no, I think it's either O-line or they trade back. Did you watch any of like the, what do they call it, the Senior Bowl or whatever?
Senior Bowl,
like that?
No. But
Jermaine Johnson is a stud.
He might be a top 15 pick.
I think we trade back and we get him if they want to go D-line. I think he's going to be the best in the draft.
I'll trade back, yes. But yeah, there's Charles Cross. I'm sorry, not Ole Miss. For any Ole Miss fans, it's Mississippi State.
Sorry, all those Ole Miss fans listening
or Mississippi State fans. Charles Cross is one offensive lineman who's projected now, according to what's his name, Chris Trapasso from 9 hours ago, NFL mock draft. He's projected to go number 1. You have Evan Neal, or you have Ikem Ekwonu from NC State. So
sure,
those are the 3 top offensive tackles or offensive linemen. So we'll see. I think that's the number 1 priority for Doug Pederson. Almost said Marone.
We're gonna keep doing it. It's okay.
Either that he's the number 1 priority, or they're the number 1 priority, or we attack in free agency. Now, I don't know who the free agents are, but that's for a future episode. Of
Absolutely, we'll definitely dive into free agency soon, but not quite yet. But on the theme of offense, it was said in that press conference that he will be calling plays. Are you okay with that?
I am.
Head coach calling plays?
I am. He called the plays in Philly when they won the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I am. And I personally think like having a former quarterback, former offensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, he was under Brett Favre. I mean, that's a pretty good person to be under.
Yeah, I don't think that it's a big deal in regards to the head coaching calling plays. Now, I would prefer it if it's the offensive coordinator, but it is what it is. I don't mind head coach calling it because correct me if I'm wrong. Have we had a head coach in franchise history that called plays, whether it's on offense or defense? Because we had Urban, who didn't know what the hell he was doing. We had Doug Marrone, who did not handle that.
Nope.
Gus Bradley did not handle
Nope.
that. Before that, it was Jack Del
Malarkey.
Rio, Malarkey.
JDR didn't do anything for defense.
No. Coughlin no. So I think
yeah.
Doug is the first one to call plays. Be interesting to see if it works.
Yeah,
But hopefully it does for Trevor Lawrence's sake and for Jaguar fans' sake, because
please.
I'm sorry, seeing only 21 points a week max scored is a problem, and really we're only seeing about 14 points a week.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
It's rough. Well, during his time with the Eagles, his led offense is ranked 7th in yards and 14th in yards 2 other times. So
I would love to be in the middle of the league, because we have not been in the middle of the league since probably Brunell days.
Oh man, that bad? You don't think maybe we had 1 year with Garrard in there?
I don't think so. He wasn't a great passer. He was a better quarterback than Blake Bortles.
Mike Thomas and Mike Sims Walker and Ernest Wilford. And...
Yeah, exactly. Those weapons just That's why I think David Garrard is a better quarterback than Blake Bortles. But that's another topic for a previous day.
You can't say anything when Skyler's not here. No, but
I can.
I mean, we were ranking 32nd in points last year and 27th in yards. So
surprised we weren't.
You can't get any lower in points. So woohoo!
I'm surprised we weren't lower in yards per game. But
I want us, first game of the season, win or loss, I don't care. I want us to put up 41.
Let's just get to 21.
Hey man, you got to shoot for the stars, right? And then you'll land you shoot for the stars and land across the clouds or something like that. I don't know how that. Something that goes. But, okay, so transitioning into his staff that he has so far. So he's brought in only a couple guys that we've seen recently today.
According to reports.
Yeah. Jim Bob Cooter. Greatest name in the game. Coming in supposedly as the pass game coordinator. Formerly with Detroit. He had some good years.
He was also an analyst for the Eagles, which I thought was interesting.
Like he was like... They're like play-by-play or something like
that?
No,
like he just worked as an analyst for Philly. I saw that today.
Consultant.
Okay. Yeah, that's the word. That's the exact word.
But he was the offensive coordinator in Detroit. He has a lot of experience in that regard. So I think he'll be all right. I mean, I'm not sitting here. I don't know I'm not an expert or anything like that. But Mike McCoy, QBs, people kind of crapped on that because of how bad he was as a head coach. But honestly, if you bringing in this guy for quarterbacks coach, I think it's a fine move.
Who was his head? Wasn't he the head coach of the Broncos? Or was he head coach of the Chargers?
Yeah, Chargers.
Oh, that was with Phillip Rivers. But he was the offensive coordinator of the Broncos. That's what it was. Okay.
He played for the Calgary Stampeders. That's kind of cool. Oh, they have the SMU logo. Sorry, you guys can't see that, but yeah. Anyway, back to that. I don't even know how to say that guy's name.
Phil Rauscher, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds about right. As the O-line game coordinator, Andrew Briner. I don't know. I don't know who some of these guys are. One of the ones I wanted to touch on was Heath Farwell, former player. And you mentioned that before we started recording, that you like former players coming in as coach. He's done a good job in Buffalo as their special teams coordinator. He'll be in the same role in Jacksonville.
Which is interesting because you don't really see coaches take lateral moves to other NFL cities unless they have a relationship with that specific coach. Or just like the weather, one of the two.
Hey, man, no state tax.
Yeah.
We always say that, but it never actually means anything for free agents.
It's only coaches that mean something, I guess.
I think it means something for Miami, like the Heat or something like that, but it doesn't for the Jags or like the Magic. It just doesn't matter because we're never going to get
the Bucks. Maybe not anymore. Who knows? Because they just lost Brady. We'll see. But
I mean, I think people were going there for Brady as opposed to
but not anymore. With Jameis as a possible option to come back to Tampa, which
hilarious.
If I was Jameis, I'd be like, absolutely not.
It's the Blaine Gabbert era. What do you mean?
Sorry, Bucks fans, y'all had your ring.
Maybe Byron needs to suit back up.
He'd still be better than Kyle Trask.
Sheesh. Yeah, I won't argue that. But yeah, that was just a little bit about the staff. It's coming together slowly but surely. Really, the big thing is just trying to figure out defensive coordinator. There's been rumors about Mike Caldwell. We'll see. But once we get a D coordinator and hopefully a new offensive coordinator, we'll start seeing like everything else just fill in like bam, bam, bam right after that because there's still a lot of openings.
We got time.
Bring back McCardell.
He's not coming back.
I wouldn't if I was him either. It is what it is. So I think that's it. Did you have anything else you want to touch on from the press conference, or do you want to transition to our next topic?
Just a quick thing. Why the hell did the Jaguars do random things on random times and random days?
Oh, you mean like at like 11 p.m. and like firing
they
Urban
fired
at like
Urban
11?
at 1:30 in the morning on a Wednesday night or whatever the day was.
I'm glad I was up for that.
I was asleep, but I got called by one of my friends, and I'm like, what? I didn't believe him at first. Like, no, we just fired Urban Meyer. I was like, oh, shit. So I stayed up for another 3 hours. And then we had the press conference at 12 o'clock on a Saturday. What are we doing? What, you couldn't wait till Monday so that people at work could just not work and watch it?
Right? That's one of those situations where you go onto the internet, you find one of those like, Keith won't be at work today because he is watching the introductory press conference for the new head coach. Boom. And then you submit that to your boss and
then you get fired. But, yeah, I was like, are you kidding me? Just announce it during the week so I don't have to watch or do any work for like an hour. Just watch the press conference. But no, they had to do it during a Saturday when I was out of town.
Yeah, it was quite strange. But hey, you know what?
Speaking of why I was out of town, John Morant, saw him live. Unreal.
Oh, that's right. You were in Orlando. You got to watch them.
I saw John Morant. That's why I went to the game.
He basically picked apart the entire Magic defense that doesn't really exist anyway.
Yeah. John Morant is definitely someone I recommend for anyone. If they have a chance to go see. He is really fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, for those NBA fans out there, I'm sure you already know, but for those that don't, John Morant is one of those special talents that is arguably one of the most exciting players to watch in the NBA today.
I was telling my brother, the way he plays reminds me of a pre-injured Derrick Rose.
Oh, man. The glory days.
He looks good. He looks like he can... It would not surprise me in the next 3 years if he wins MVP.
Not at all.
Would
not
surprise
at all.
me.
I mean, yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. Did you buy anything from the team store?
No, I did not. I was like, I'm just not going to... It was cold. I was like, I just want to get out of there and just go home. Or go back to my brother's place.
Glad you got to catch a game, though. I haven't been able to yet this year.
You got not much time left, so...
I know. And I haven't been since the pandemic started, and it just kind of makes me sad. I got to get back down there, but you might have seen, I don't know. Trade deadline is when you're listening to this. If you're listening to it the day after the day we post it, which is 2/10,
February 10th.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said it like that, but that's okay. February 10th. It ends at 3 p.m. So we have not seen a lot going on, man. It's been very quiet, reminiscent of like 5 years ago when like the biggest trade was the Boogie trade. That year was really quiet too. But I mean, some of the names that have been traded, like Whoopi, like Karis LeVert. I mean, it's like, okay, cool, but
that's a big deal for the Cavs.
I think it is too, but at the same time, it's still not like a barn burner. It's not KD. It's not Russ. It's not James Harden.
I mean, yes, but there are definitely some notable names for each of these teams. Like, for example, CJ McCollum got traded, which I was thinking it should have happened maybe a year ago.
Probably could have got a little bit better deal out of it, but I still think they got some.
They are just shedding for cap space, I think, at this point. They're trying to rebuild the team quickly for Damian Lillard. The biggest trade yesterday, in my opinion, was the Pacers and Kings deal, where Buddy Hield went from the Kings to the Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton.
I was going to say, interesting how you say Buddy Hield first, because I
like Buddy Hield a lot. I think he's really underrated. He's just been.
I wanted Buddy in Orlando like 4 or 5 years ago.
He's just been on terrible franchises his entire career. So now, granted, Pacers are much better, but they're better than the Kings. The Kings, I don't know what they're doing, but
I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. I saw some people that are annoying to me on Facebook talking about it today.
Yeah, but...
And I was just like, they're just like crapping on the Kings. And I'm like, as much as I don't think it's the best deal, but I think Sabonis is the best player that De'Aaron Fox has ever played with. I think that Jeremy Lamb's not great. I think that Justin Holiday's not great.
But the thing is, if you're taking out Lamb and Holiday, Tristan Thompson's useless. What are you doing? You're trading away your best player. 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 You're trading away
Yeah.
It's pretty much a Halliburton and Hield for Sabonis. And I'm sorry, Sabonis is not worth those two, in my opinion.
Sure. I mean,
that's where I
Hield's
think
getting
it's
up there in
iffy.
age. I mean, you can make that argument that he's getting
like
a little bit older.
27, I think.
29.
29, yeah.
And you've got Halliburton, who's obviously very young, and he's
Second year in the
very,
league.
very like, I don't know how you say it. He's not proven that he's good. He's not proven that he's bad, but I think he's on that upward swing. If you know, like he's climbing the ladder. But I think they had too crowded of a backcourt in Sacramento, and you kind of had to make a deal for something, and Halliburton just happened to be that one. Now, again, I'm not defending the Kings like I'm a Kings fan. I don't think it was the greatest move in the world, but I don't think it's as bad as people think because Indiana fans were kind of pissed about this too. So, other than that, anything else that really caught your eye?
Not really. I'm just waiting.
See, Bol got moved to the Celtics
back in January. Yeah, I'm looking right now at the trade. I see another one. I like that LeVert deal for Cleveland. Now, I didn't realize that the Pacers got a first round pick for him.
Yeah, lottery protected too,
which is interesting. But Cleveland's not making the lottery, so they're fine.
Well, if you look at it this way, it's the Pacers' time. And again, I know we're not an NBA podcast, but we're gonna sprinkle in NBA here and there because Mike and I are big NBA guys. So if you don't care, apologize. You can just fast forward a little bit. But if you don't, please continue to listen and give us feedback because we'd love to talk more NBA if we could. But I think that Indiana picked the right time to blow it up. And it was time. I mean, they were in that mediocrity of like the 7-8 seed that they weren't actually going to move anywhere more up because of injuries and because of just like everyone that was on their team was just kind of like, oh, they're pretty good. But they weren't like superstar or they weren't like bad, So they were in that middle zone. You had TJ Warren, have that crazy
1 year
bubble year or whatever. And
they got paid.
It got paid and now he's hurt, And Miles Turner, same thing. And they let Victor Oladipo kind of screwed himself. But yeah, it's been kind of interesting. So I think the bigger one for me is the Oklahoma City getting KZ. No, I'm just kidding. KZ Okpala. I don't even know who that is. Apologies to KZ. I don't know who you are, but which one were you talking about? The
Pacers Kings. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's the big one, but I think LeVert for a first round pick is still crazy to me. But they also got rid of Rubio, so I guess it works out. I don't know. But a lot of these teams are just trying to make their final moves to try to contend for a championship, even though there's really only 5 contenders in the NBA, I think, this year.
Who are those 5?
Suns, Warriors. I need to pull up these. Bucks.
Suns, Warriors, Bucks. Okay, that's 3.
Remember who else is a
Sorry,
contender.
ESPN's taking a long time to load.
I should know all this off the top of my head, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Heat are a contender, and I think the Sixers are a contender. I don't think that
You don't think the Grizz are?
No, I think they're too young.
Bulls?
They're good. They're good. Bulls, nah, they're hurt. They're going to be hurt down the stretch. They always are.
Cavs?
No, too young.
And everybody else?
Sixers, I'd put the Sixers as contenders because until they figure out this Ben Simmons situation, they are a contender. They're still a contender, even with or without Ben Simmons.
And that's a big thing I wanted to touch on. So, with Ben Simmons, do you think any big deals are going to come around? Is James Harden going to get dealt? Is Ben Simmons going to get dealt?
I think there will be a trade by tomorrow. I think that one of either these 4, 2 of these 4 could be traded for each other. But I'm going to say one of these 4 players will get traded by February 10th, 3 p.m. One of these 4 will get traded. James Harden, Ben Simmons, John Wall, and Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, I think, is the likeliest to be traded. He sucks. He can't make a
who's
shot.
Gonna trade for him?
He can't make a. Fuck it, trade him to the Sixers. Actually, that would ruin the Sixers completely. No,
I think
Ben
according
Simmons
to a lot
the
of
Lakers
rumors,
would be really interesting.
It would, but I think all the rumors are John Wall.
Yeah, well, that's because wouldn't it be funny that John Wall got traded for Russell Westbrook the first time
and gets traded for him again?
Traded for him again.
I wonder if that's ever happened.
I don't think there's ever been an NBA player that got traded twice for the same player, because John Wall was on the Wizards, got traded to the Rockets for Westbrook, and then Westbrook got traded from the Rockets to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Right? Or was he? Or no, I'm sorry. Westbrook got
No.
traded from the Rockets to. God, those two players got traded so many times. I've lost count of where he's been at.
Who cares?
Russell Westbrook's been on 5 teams, I think, in the last 3 years.
He went on like a Dwight Howard run there, where he was just like bouncing around. Because remember, Dwight almost played for every team in the division at one point.
He didn't play for the Heat. That's the only team.
The only one he didn't play for was the Heat. Yeah, but he played for the Wizards, the Hornets, the Magic, obviously,
and the Hawks.
And the Hawks. And it was like, this is weird. I don't know. I think it's more likely that we see a Ben Simmons, James Harden type deal unfold.
Wouldn't surprise me, but man, the Nets are really taking a huge risk on Ben Simmons.
I don't want Ben Simmons on my team.
I don't want James Harden on my team. I'd rather have Ben Simmons than James Harden.
Oh, I know, but I mean, like, you know, obviously he hasn't played all year and he's being a little wussy. I mean, both of them are, but being a little weenie about it, and I don't want Ben Simmons. If I'm building a team...
But my thing is, though, James Harden, a report came out a few weeks ago. He didn't want to be in the cold, didn't want to deal with the money situation. And he's going to go to Philly, as if it's any warmer in Philly
It's not.
than it is in Brooklyn. No, but I don't know. I hope Westbrook's dealt because, man, I said this before the season, it would not surprise me if the Lakers did not make the playoffs. And they are on the verge of missing the playoffs.
They're talking about like, oh yeah, we're not on the
Bucks
level of the Bucks.
But to be fair, that
but
was
we
a
don't
stupid
think we
question.
ever
That was a stupid question asked to LeBron.
It is, but I mean, like, they're nowhere near like the Cavs level right now. Like, it's pathetic.
They're on the Magic level right now.
Hey man,
I'm saying that as a joke because
and we're not the worst team in the league, man.
Yeah, Detroit is.
We got that dub last night against Portland. Do you
Which-
think we deal T. Ross or Gary Harris?
No one's gonna want them.
I think if anybody's going to move, it'd be Mo, but I don't think so. I think
Bamba?
we're asking too much, yeah. It's contract year.
No
You
one's
get
gonna
him now.
touch him. No one's gonna touch Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba's a bust.
Hey, my mom and my sister closed all 3 of their rings, so congrats to you all. I know you're not listening, but at least you guys got your exercise for the day.
Wow, he's actually been on 14. I'm looking at Russell Westbrook. He's been on 4 teams since 2019. Thunder, Rockets, Wizards, Lakers, and probably about to be on his 5th. So I was right. Almost 15 in
Trade
3
him
years.
to the T-Wolves for D'Angelo Russell. Bring him back, baby.
No. If I'm the Wolves, I'd say hell no. Get the hell away
I
from
would
me.
either.
Wolves are in playoff contention. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize the Wolves are up there, but they are. They're the 7th seed.
I didn't
Good for
realize
them.
the Kings started off kind of like good, but
The Kings suck.
They
They're all
fell
forever
off.
a poverty franchise, just like the Jaguars.
dang, man, that kind of sucks. Well, speaking of that, I mean, we don't get to watch a lot of these teams just because West Coast bias and Bally Sports is the worst organization of all time. But we were talking on Twitter the other day about NBA Crunch Time, which is like the red zone for the NBA. How awesome is that?
I think it's about time. I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner, to be honest with you, because they should have seen how successful NFL Red Zone was.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, NBA Crunch Time, or I'm sorry, NFL Red Zone is a feature created by NFL Network where they show all the actual touchdowns scored in an NFL game or any time a scoring opportunity is about to happen. And it's within the last 20 yards or whenever a big play happens, they show it on Red Zone for those fans that don't get to see players, or I'm sorry, other teams. It's more of a fantasy football driven concept. And I think it's absolutely wonderful. Like when the Jaguars have a bye week, I watch Red Zone over the regular scheduled TV game on CBS.
Oh yeah,
or
I
Fox.
usually switch channels.
I keep-
Even if the Jags are on, I'll keep the Jags on primary.
Oh,
but when it goes to commercial, I'll go to Red
Sometimes
Zone.
I do that too, especially when we're getting blown out like 50-10, like against the Patriots, week 16. I'm sorry, week 17.
I'm glad
But
I didn't watch that.
I watched 5 minutes of it, and one of the first plays I saw was a pick. I was like, I'm done.
You're dead.
But yeah, I'm done. But the NBA Crunch Time, it's literally the NBA TV's alternative to NFL Red Zone.
And it's been around. So
Has it?
It's something that they would show on NBA TV that was just like, after the game that they were showing was over, they'd kind of just
I thought it was
bounce
called
around.
like NBA Game Time or NBA something else, but
It's been, and I don't know if it's been called something else, but it's been around since 2015. But it is. I've watched it a couple times, and I didn't realize I did. But the fact to have it on like the app and stuff like that, the NBA app, I think it's a big deal, and I think that this could evolve into something else. It would be a channel I would buy.
Now,
for sure.
I tried pulling it up on my NBA app. It did give me some issues, so I don't know if it's because I'm not logged. If I have to have an account at NBA.com. Or whatever the situation may be, but that's why an NBA is a daily sport. Mm-hmm. So yep. It's not like NFL where it's once a week and for 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever. Well, NFL's is 7 hours of commercial-free football. That's a different situation.
Scott Hansen doesn't go pee.
Yeah, which is crazy. But I like the concept for NBA. I think it'll work. It'll get some people to watch it, especially the people that play DFS, daily fantasy, people that have lineups.
Oh yeah.
And that's what that's what Red Zone was created for NFL, is just for fantasy football purposes.
Right. And we had one of our friends tweet at us and say, I'm not a regular watcher of the NBA, but I would watch something like this. And he's a better.
And he goes on fantasy sports. So.
Right. Yeah. And so like that's a huge thing. And also there's a lot of players in the NBA that casual people have no idea who they are. This would be a great opportunity to get some exposure for some of these random people or teams that you'll never normally get to watch. Like you're watching it. It was on like 8:30 or something. Like you can watch some West Coast games. It's like, oh wow, I've never watched the Jazz play or the Trailblazers or
I would say
whoever.
Kings and Blazers. You're not gonna watch it unless it's Damian Lillard or De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah. And the thing is, you don't have to sit there and watch the whole game. They'll show a couple buckets. They'll show a couple things. And then they'll move to the next game. And I like that.
And you don't have to sit and watch through 60 minutes. 48 minutes of just pure hell if you're a Magic fan, for example.
Or if you're a Jaguar fan and Red Zone and you watch only the interceptions and the fumbles. Dude, I swear, man, I would watch sometimes and I'd forget to switch back to the Jags game and I wouldn't see a single highlight until it was a low light for the Jags. And I'm like, that's why I'm not switching back. I'm going to keep watching the good game.
Yeah, it's definitely rough being a Jags fan. But Dougie P's got us going on the right path, hopefully.
Agreed. Shall we wrap things up, my friend?
I'm about it.
All right, so wrapping things up, Valentine's Day is right around the corner for all of you lovebirds. There are quite a few events to do this weekend in Jacksonville, Florida. Don't feel like reading it? You can watch on jacksweeklyevents.com. This is not a paid ad. I'm just fucking around. But there is Cupid's Undie Run Jacksonville. Wow, Mike, wow, you look excited. Oh, your eyes are huge. You're reading wow, you really want to be in your undies? Okay, wow, yeah. The Cupid's Undie Run takes place at the beach. You go out to Lynch's Irish Pub.
Of course it's at Lynch's. Yeah. Why does that not surprise me?
And it's exactly what it sounds like. You don't feel like putting on pants? That's fine. Grab your favorite pair of underwear and running shoes because this run is coming back this Saturday, February 12th, from 12 to 4. All I pray, Mike, is that you either wear a pair of boxers that have a button or you wear something underneath, man, because I don't want to... Well, I won't be there, but I don't want to hear about somebody's junk like wiggle out. I thought you're so into this right now. You're reading.
I'm just like confused.
You just bookmarked the page. Oh my gosh!
I see Jackson DeVille, the Jaguars mascot there. I see
you just liked
a girl on her phone, not in her underwear at all. I see girls in her bra and panties.
In
but
this
I see
picture,
guys
there's probably like 50
boxers
people.
And shorts.
I see about 4 people actually in their underwear. So
yeah. So
if you're horny, don't go to this. Okay, please. We don't want to see anything go wrong.
Well then.
Next event. Will you beer my Galentine? The Galentine's market for all you ladies at Wicked Barley. It's literally exactly what it sounds like. You can shop and drink at Wicked Barley. They'll do a little sip and shop with local vendors. It's pretty cool. Looking at the picture, there are men there, so I don't think you have to be a chick. Or actually, no, that pic's from Oktoberfest. Well, anyway, I think it's probably for girls only. That's the sip and shop there. And the last thing is Vagabond, flee Galentine's market. God, why is it all Galentine's things? What about the dudes?
They don't care. You know why they don't care about the guys?
Because we're going to be hungover from the Super Bowl.
Exactly. And the Super Bowl is on Super Bowl. Obviously, Super Bowl is on Super Bowl Sunday. The Super Bowl is on Sunday, and Valentine's Day is on a Monday, causing a little bit of anger from guys because, like, are you kidding me? Right. So, just to prepare everyone, in 2027, I looked it up. Valentine's Day is on when the Super Bowl will be. So this is a preparation for 5 years from now.
You actually looked that up?
Because the reason why I looked it up is because my brother is like, are you fucking kidding me? They would make the Super Bowl the same week as Valentine's Day. I'm like, Kevin, I don't think they factor in Valentine's Day.
They'll change it. They gotta change
they
it.
Won't. What are they gonna change it to?
A week before or something like that. I don't.
They have to get rid of a week of a season. Then
they'll do something.
They will not do anything. 2027. Mark your calendars. February 14th, 2027 is when there will be a Super Bowl. What Super Bowl are we at right now? Super Bowl 56, 57? I don't know.
God, are we really that far? No, it can't be that far.
Or past 55.
Super Bowl
56, perfect. 56. So Super Bowl 61, I think. Sure.
I can't do math. Don't look at me.
If I add 5, yeah, Super Bowl 61 will be on Valentine's Day in 2027. So, gentlemen, prepare yourselves because you better take your girl or boy out to Valentine's Day dinner, lunch, whatever, the Friday before, the day before, or the day after, or 2 days after, because there's no way in hell you're going to get a reservation on Super Bowl Sunday at any place because chances are they're going to have the game on those TVs.
Yeah, you can't go to the wing place or you can't go to the Ruth's Chris or whatever.
So if you are married or have a future fiance, start planning it from now because then, oh my God, they'll remember this right 5 years from now. Oh, you planned it 5 years in advance. It'll look sweet, maybe not, or maybe a little psycho, but start planning from 5 years from now because Super Bowl will ruin a lot of
you heard it here first. What is the year again? 2027?
2027, if my math is correct, that there will be a Super Bowl on Valentine's Day. There's no shot. If they move it just because of that, that's me. That shows that the NFL is king in America.
Yeah, agreed. Well, last one I wanted to get in just before we close
By the way, you can blame Kevin for me looking that up because, we were talking about that this weekend.
The 4th annual Puppy Bowl is this weekend as well, February 13th. Well, I guess that's technically, Super Bowl Sunday. But it's from 1 to 4. Canine Social, right up the road from here in Brooklyn, is literally, they've drafted 100 puppies onto 4 teams, and they're competing to get the Vince Lombardi Trophy. I just love a good play on words like that. But yeah, you can actually vote for who you want to win. The draft night is actually the draft night's going on right now as we speak from 6 to 8 p.m. So we're missing that. Dang, Mike. I'm sorry.
Do they have it live?
Probably not. It's probably you have to be at Canine Social. But
boo.
1 to 4 on the 13th before the Super Bowl. You want to do something nice for your girl or all you dog lovers out there. Head on out there. It's $15 actually, so never mind. I don't know if anybody wants to spend $15 to watch dogs.
People would.
Yeah, they probably would.
People
not
love
me.
Dogs.
I guess I'm the weird one.
Yeah, people love dogs.
Fuck dogs.
Oh no.
Yeah. Come at me, y'all. Come at me. I had 3.
You're a cat guy, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Low maintenance, bro.
His Twitter is @KeithManzi if you want to blast him. So that is definitely. No, what? No, dogs are better than cats. Sorry.
No, they are not.
Yes, they are.
Dogs are annoying.
Cats are annoying.
Cats don't do anything.
Exactly.
That's why I like them. I come home from work, or actually I work from home. That thing's just going to be chilling in here. If I have a dog and I'm working from home, come play with me. I don't want to play with you, bro. I'm busy. Stop looking at me so judgmentally, bro.
I am sorry, everyone, but that's just disappointing. You want to play with a dog? Dogs are all we are all. We are all what dog. I'm sorry, I can't even get the word out.
Yeah.
We are all. What's the exact way that dogs have? There we go.
So you're saying that they can't survive in the wild, so they're just weak. Cats are stronger.
Oh my goodness.
I could go on about this for days, man.
A dog would eat a cat alive.
False.
We do not
Cats
endorse.
are the king of the
we
jungle.
do not endorse animal
King
abuse.
of the jungle. I've been attacked by dogs. I don't like dogs.
That's a different story.
That's actually the main reason for all of you out there that are about to take a crap on me.
About the tweet at Keith.
I have been attacked multiple times by dogs, and they were all kind of isolated incidents. And I remember one time, our good friend Bajalia. Remember him?
Oh yeah, who doesn't love Bajalia?
Yeah,
Who doesn't remember Bajalia?
Yeah, we lived in the neighborhood together growing up. He had a German Shepherd, and that big boy, oh my goodness. I don't know what it was, but he started chasing me. And it wasn't like a playful chase. It was like malicious, and he was like barking and he was growling. And for some reason I was running backwards because it felt like he was chasing after my junk. I don't know. It was weird, but I ended up having to jump up on one of those green electrical boxes that they had right outside their house, and it had bushes around it so he couldn't get to me. But like Michael and his dad and his brother, they had to like restrain the dog. And I didn't want to go over to his house ever again after that because I was legitimately frightened. And it happened a couple other times. I got chased around. I don't know what it is. I think they just sense that I don't like them. But regardless, cats are king. You can't sway me from that.
That's a fair reason not to like dogs, but no.
I also had 3, and they used to shit all over the house, and
That's
I never
just bad
wanted
training.
them. I didn't want them. I didn't want to train them. It was my ex. She wanted them,
Touche.
and she didn't train them.
That's also a good point. So you just have had terrible experiences with dogs. I'm
God,
sorry.
That house was disgusting. Good thing we had tile.
I'm sorry that you had to deal with that terrible experience with dogs.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. But with that, I think we're good. This is a good note to end on. For Mike Yazji, Twitter handle.
At Mike_Yazgi94, and Yazgi is spelled Yazigi, you jackasses.
And I am at Keith Manzi, and that is MANZ as in zebra E on Twitter as well. Be sure to follow us if you do not. We will follow back most of the time. Or follow us at Dimes on Duval, so we can get some exposure that way. We're trying to build that following. I want to get over 100 followers on Twitter, man. We're so close.
We're at 91. Weren't we at like 89 a few weeks ago?
We were. But I wanted to get 100 by the new year, and here we are, February 9th, and still stuck to where we are. So, with that, this has been another episode of Dimes on Duval. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Fire, Trent, Balky,